Test, test, test. Test, test, test. All right, I know you guys can hear me, but I don't have noise filtering on that. I'll mess with it later. Thank you for the heads up. Sorry, YouTube guys. Not much happening right now anyway. Got inside 15. 30 is in force over this white line right here. But inside 60, inside 4 hour, inside 12 hour, inside day. I feel like the best trade is going to be maybe on the 4 hour flip at 10 p.m. Eastern, or sometime later tonight or tomorrow if we can trigger this NQ inside day up. Maybe we get back up into like the 21,000 zone. Check, check. Beep boop. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. All right, man. I don't know. I gotta pull it together here. This is like amateur hour. I got logged out of the noise canceling filtering app that I use, and that's just created a cascade of problems. So I did the old let's just unplug it, plug it back in. Let me see if that fixes this. Properties. Check, check, check. All right. I think YouTube should be good now too. And Discord. Apologies, guys. So, giving back all of that move, which I mean wasn't anything crazy, but 20 points is a nice little chunk of change depending on your position sizing. But this is a good example of why I don't want to mess with the inside hour, inside 4 hour. It's just always shit like this. You get moves with no follow through, you get pullbacks. It's just not what I'm trying to trade. Like I want to catch the reversal or the break and sit with it for a minute. And sometimes you just can't do that. I got to get better at recognizing the times when I can sit with it, when the market is, getting follow through, and then when it's not, just take the 20 points, 30 points. Like the other night I was up 30 points, I think on, I was copy trading 3 XFAs, so I was up 30 points. I don't know if I had 3, 6, I think I probably had 6 micros I was scaling in. I don't think I got like another ad on there. 9 seems like it would have been high, but it was probably up about $400, so on 30 points. And ended up hitting DLL in those accounts. Like that's crazy. I can't do stuff like that. That was me just being greedy, looking for more out of the trade than the market was going to give. Was feeling some FOMO for missing this move, but that's why it's important to stick to rules. Like I have these rules for a reason, right? Do they Are they always perfect? No. Sometimes, if you break the rules, you can get a winner. But in general, what I've noticed after doing this for a minute is that trading, an inside 60, inside 4 hour is usually not great. So why stress myself out, right? Why risk it? Why not just wait for an A plus setup and then get after it? And it comes down to just being patient. That a lot of times we're going to be sitting here staring at the screen, trying not to click buttons. And it's as simple as that. Like, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the meme. It's like trading 95% waiting and then 5% of actual trading execution, which is why I try not to sit here for too long, right? Just give it an hour or two. If nothing shows up, I got to walk away. Like options DJN mentioned earlier today, I think he was up and then went back and dipped his toe in the water and took a L. Like walking away, learning how to walk away is such an important skill. Very underrated. Like whether you're up or down, if you have a good green day, like you know, just leave it. Be more picky. Or if you're having a small red day, like don't make it worse. Just walk away. It could be the market. Maybe you're not on point. You know, just you don't have a good read on things. Come back later. It's better than digging a hole for yourself. I know for me, once I start to dig a hole, it becomes very challenging to not want to get out of it as quickly as possible. And that leads to, take not being patient, taking bad trades, gambling mentality, that sort of thing. Let's see. Eight ball. How many points do you need to reach in order to make 500 with 5 micros? It is $20 per micro for 10 points. So, like usually my starter is 3, so I don't know. You can figure out the math there. 5 micros um is what, 250, so you need 20 points. My math right? 5 micros, 25 points, I think. French Fish says I didn't follow my rules and closed early and the trade ran for 200 more points. Yeah, I like that's so frustrating when we just don't stick to the plan. If you have a plan, like for me, I gotta stick to it, right? Win, lose, draw, whatever. If I stop out, I stop out, but I can't start fiddle fucking with it right in the middle of the trade. That has cost me a ridiculous amount of money in um, missed opportunities just because I didn't, like today when I was shorted at 520 and the market was down at like 215 or something. Um, that's that's it's frustrating to not to have a plan and you have some targets and you have an entry and you do like you get most of it right, but then you make one little mistake and it costs you. Like for me, I need to be on guard constantly, right? Evaluating, looking at the charts. What are the charts telling me? Not what do I want to have, what do I want, not what do I think is going to happen. Like what are the charts saying? Too many times I've trailed my stop too tight, just not wanting to give back, anything. And then I get tagged out only for it to run another, 100, 200 points. I would rather just stop out break even and have the trade like not work than to be in a trade that's working and I had no reason to get out of. And just because I kind of trailed too tight or had some sort of emotional reaction that I end up missing out on what I was looking for. It's a tricky thing, man. This trading business is tough stuff. You got to be very disciplined. Try and detach as much as possible from the outcomes of any one trade. Right? It's not about a single trade. It's about a series of good decisions that hopefully lead to profits. Or worst case scenario, you're small red or break even. Got a 30 minute flip, so 15-minute inside bar breaking bear here. This little guy. 30-minute inside bar, still inside 60, inside 4 hour. Actually going to set another alert on this 4 hour shooter. So I don't know that this is going to trigger in the next like 30 minutes or so while I'm here, but if it does, I want to know about it, right? If we take out this low, we've got this broadening formation going on. Nope, not you. This broadening formation here, right? If we reclaim this 3, we break this low, we could see price come back down into this area, somewhere like this. So we do have continuity on our side, right? All time frames are red. It's one of the other problems I think I've had the last week or two is going into the open with a bias and not um, keeping an open mind, right? Letting the charts kind of dictate the trading. Like expecting longs or buyers to show up and then it just doesn't happen and I'm kind of like stuck in that mode instead of saying okay that's obviously not what's happening right now, right? Shorts are winning, get on the winning side, take the trades. Don't just like try and buy dip after dip after dip and get paper cut to death. So 30-minute breaking bear. But I really don't care about anything here until we get this outside 60 or the inside 60 goes 2 down or 2 up. And really the 4 hour, I need to see the 4 hour not be stuck inside. So flip the day red here. This blue line is daily open, so that's our daily continuity. And the rest of the time frames are red. With these with the 60 and 4 hour inside bar, it can be very choppy. Like that's an easy way to identify directionless price action, right? Inside bar, we don't really know, is it breaking the previous candle high or low? It's just stuck inside. Makes it much more difficult and just something I try and avoid. Like I don't mind an inside day quite as much on futures because I only need like 30, 20, 30, 40 points on NQ to make money. So inside day can sometimes be 100, 200 points. it is a little trickier, and you have to, I'm just aware of it. Like, okay, inside day here, we may, trading may be difficult. But when we've got an inside 60, inside 4 hour, I just can't get on board with trading in that. French Fish was copy trading XFAs for the first. How many accounts were you copy trading? You got to be careful with that copy trading, man. Like, you can see none of my accounts right now are linked because if I'm not trading well, I don't want to, I don't want to copy trade and like cause more headaches for myself. So I'm just going to wait until, there's a really great setup that I like that I want to take in more than one account, or just, I can quickly bounce around between these accounts. It's not like a big deal. Like, let's say in one account I get in a little too early, maybe in the other account, or two other accounts I can get a better entry, and it makes up for that kind of bad positioning in one account versus all three with the exact same entry. I mean, copy trading is great, but you have to be super disciplined, and you got to be on point. And if you're not trading well, like I haven't been, I just not going to do it. The sucky thing for me is that the three accounts that I hit max loss on they were all payout eligible. I just needed more money in them. I think they all had at least 4 days. Two of them might have 5 days, but either way, I needed like a nice winning day or two, and then I would have been able to take payouts out of them. And so I do regret I was copy trading those and last night, and I just regret that because I had to pay another $450 in activation fees and start these accounts from scratch. I think these two backup accounts that I have probably have like 2 or 3 days of 200 plus, so that's not it's not too bad. It's just the activation fees that sucks when you have to shell out more money. It's always better to keep the accounts if you can. Try and like dig your way out of the hole. Like, what account is it here? This XFA right here that I'm down 600 in. This was $400 from hitting max loss. So I was down. Balance was like minus 1600, and I caught a an $1,800 trade and was green in this 2 days ago, and then I hit my daily loss 2 days in a row. But it's possible to turn things around. But the trick is to just focus on taking good trade setups, right? Being patient. If the charts are not screaming at me like you got to be in this trade, then no reason to click buttons, right? It's like if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no kind of thing. For me, if I'm looking at the charts and it's like, yeah, that might work. I mean, that should not be good enough, right? I should just be like, damn, if this works, that's gonna be a badass trade, and then just manage risk, right? But not like, let's just take a shot in the dark here, see if this trade setup works. Like, that's not really how I want to approach my trading. That just means following rules, right? French Fish says activation fees are bankrupting. Tell me about it, man. I think I've activated 60 funded accounts on Top Step, somewhere around there. The first 3 or 4 months, I was in a rush to get payouts, right? Like no daily loss limit. I blew up 5 accounts copy trading at once. Like I went on tilt. They were all, I think maybe I was down like 300 in each one. So I had 1700 in max loss, and then I just smoked them all five in one revenge trading session. So I do feel like I've made progress on that front as far as not, kind of protecting myself a little bit, having a daily loss limit. Because yeah, that shit starts to add up. It really does. And it's different if you're getting payouts. Like I see, there are people on X, Twitter who are, pulling out 10, 20, $30,000 a month, and they're maybe spending like two, three, four, 5,000 on new accounts or resets, activations, whatever. Like that math works out. They're still net positive on the month. But if you're not getting payouts and you're just constantly feeding money into the machine, it becomes, very gambly. 30-minute hit target on NQ, and we are kind of recovering from that. You can see here this little 30-minute inside bar, or I'm sorry, not inside bar, just this rev strat, right? Hit target down here. That's kind of target one. I would ordinarily we kind of look for this to get taken out down here, but hit a target and then immediately reversed. And that's why I can't trust. That's why I really try and avoid these inside bars, man. They You just don't get follow through on setups. Like this wasn't even a trade worth taking because I mean it was 14 and a half points. If you're scalping, okay, but I'm kind of looking for, you know, really during Globex like 20, 30 points minimum. Sometimes I get too greedy, but it's one of those situations where if it hits your target, you better be cashing out, take the money and run. A little 54-point range here after 43 minutes of trading. I'm really going to be hands off, I think. Most likely, if I'm smart, that's up for debate. I will wait the 3 hours and 17 minutes until we get a new 4 hour candle. Like until this either breaks the low, the high, which, you got a lot of work to do. By the time this high breaks, I probably wouldn't be super interested in taking it because it's had to travel basically from the bottom range of this candle all the way up just to trigger. So, I kind of use like um I guess what you would call like average true range of just looking at the size of these candles that are trading, especially during the overnight session, and then saying like if this breaks, I mean, how much more follow through could we possibly get if the average candle over the last X number of candles is only, whatever number of points. Like let's say the average candle is 50 points, right? And this moves 50 or 40 points just to break this high. Am I going to expect it to move another 50 points? It's not reasonable. I mean, it can definitely happen, but we got to play like kind of the odds, probabilities. So I think I mean, I'm at least gonna wait. We'll see. We got a flip in 15 minutes. We'll see if this hourly inside bar gets anything going here. Because we could trigger the 60 into the 4 hour, get a little domino trade. Like let's actually mark this out on this chart. Whoops. So here, this is the 4 hour trigger is this line. So if we see the hour closes inside, we break bear and get a little follow through, we could trigger the 4 hour. So that's something I'll keep an eye on, but we'll definitely be cautious. And right now, the buyers stepped up a little bit. So a little 15-minute hammer here, little rev strat inside bar, two down hammer. I could get daily continuity back to the upside. Just gonna wait. Getting ants in my pants has caused me a lot of pain the last couple weeks. Nothing worse than hitting daily loss limit and then, the move that you should have waited for shows up. That's clear as day and you don't have an opportunity to jump in. That's painful. 1 second, guys. Sorry, dog commotion. So, yeah, I mean, if we look at we look at this chart, we're just kind of chopping along sideways. Not like a whole lot happening here, right? Yeah. A-ball says 10 points on ES translates to 25 points on NQ. Good to know because I was going to start experimenting with ES. Like a lot of the long time kind of professional traders that I know of from Top Step TV and that I've seen on other YouTube channels who have been doing this for a while. A lot of them are trading ES. Like they're not messing with the NQ. What I understand, and I haven't traded it very often, it's less wiki. It respects levels, more. Um, but I can't vouch for it because I got addicted to NQ. But it's something I may try trading, especially during New York when NQ can be 50, 60 points in a 1 minute candle. It's kind of hard to manage risk. Like, yeah, you can make great money, but you can also get your teeth kicked in. So, like, maybe it would benefit me to uh, trade ES a little bit, or at least experiment with it. It's not a bad idea. Maybe I convert one of these backup accounts. I have Globex New York. Maybe I make just an ES account, like New York and New York ES, New York NQ. I gotta have some way of tracking my performance, trading different things, different times, and see where I trade best, and then focus on those, taking advantage of those opportunities. You can see tilt down here. Let me refresh this page just to make sure this is updated. Yeah, NQ tilt split. So 51% long, 49% short. It's like gold. We got a lot of shorts in gold. Let's take a look at GC and see. Inside 4 hour, inside 12 hour, inside day. Not interested at the moment. See if copper is still popping. Man, what a day. Flip in 9.5 minutes. Looks like it's going to close inside hour, and maybe, just maybe, something will show up that I can take a shot at. But at this point, it would have to be a 4 hour, would have to be a short. We're closer to the previous 4 hour low than we are the highs. And like I mentioned earlier, by the time we get up there, I feel like there's a potential for buyers to be out of gas. Maybe when this, if this 4 hour closes inside and we're up near the highs or we push a little higher, then I would get interested in longs. But I need, a trader that I have a lot of respect for always uses the phrase like buyers or sellers need to prove it, right? Like the response, like if you're looking for longs, you need friends to show up, and they've got to be long, and they got to prove that they are serious about pushing the market higher. If not, then they are not to be trusted. Anybody know if we've got any kind of Trump live tonight, or do we get the night off? A ball says that's exactly why I prefer. Yes, I might start trading NQ at this time. Yeah, see, like so overnight, NQ is not as crazy. That's kind of, and that's that's where I really, that's kind of where I started trading the overnight session. And so NQ, there was enough volatility there to make some money. It seems like with ES, you either have to size up like ridiculously, or you're just not going to get, you're not going to be able to squeeze as much out of it. But during New York, when things are crazy, when NQ is moving 100, 200, 300 points, if you're on the right side of it, it's great. But if you're on the wrong side, it's, our jobs are to manage risk. And I don't know how you manage risk on a 1 minute, 50 point candle. I mean, for me, I'll trade, micros. But even still, sometimes it's a little intense. NQ can get moving. I mean, it's like a double-edged sword. Sometimes, it's like I said, it's great when you're on the right side of it. You make a lot of money, and if you're wrong, it can be very painful. 6.5 minutes till this flip. See what happens, and then I'm gonna hop off probably. I think streaming was good for me tonight because I had no desire really to click buttons. There's just nothing here, and coming into Globex tonight, I was feeling a little fidgety. Like I've got three XFA, I got five XFAs, but I got three new ones. Like let's hurry up and put some money in them. But when the setups aren't there, it just ends up being a problem. It was like, oh look, we get this nice push up, and then we pull back, and then oh we're breaking bear, and then nope, we just reverse. And we're pretty much stuck like in this. I mean, this is the opening kind of range here. We broke above, we broke below, but we're just stuck in the middle. Thanks, T. Rosal. T. Rosal says I don't see anything on Trump's public schedule tonight. Brown Strat King. ES is the only one that doesn't have a spread overnight. I don't even pay attention to the like. I mean, look, the spread on NQ right now, I'm NQ is less than a point. I mean, when I'm trying to get 20, 30 points, it doesn't even factor in. So I don't really get that. I mean, when the market first opens, yeah, it can be 2, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. Like that initial market open and boom, 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 things are kind of ping ponging around. Can be a little wide, but after the first like 5 or 10 minutes, I mean, it's so rare that I pay attention to spread. I just don't. I mean, I keep an eye on it, but like it almost never factors in. So, I mean, that doesn't make me right or you wrong or what. I mean, do, whatever works for you. If the, depending on your trading style, if the spread somehow factors in, then, you got to do what makes sense for you. But for me, I don't even really notice it. But again, that's because I'm typically looking for, a really like minimum 20, 30 points. All right. 3 minutes until the flip. Got an inside 15, inside 60, inside 4 hour. I don't want to do anything stupid before the real move happens, right? If we do get this inside hammer day breaking bull, we could get to 300 points. I'd rather wait for that than get chopped up, trying to catch 20, 30 points. Really going to focus on being more picky about the trades that I take and continue to focus on fewer trades, just fewer higher quality setups. I used to overtrade a ton. I've dialed it back probably like 50. I trade 50% less than I used to. So I'm trying to look at that as, progress. I'm not going to be perfect. Sometimes I'm going to get a little trigger happy. But when you think about it, how many really good, high quality 60-minute, 4 hour, 12-hour setups are there per day? It's definitely not more than 23, right? We got 23 hourly candles from Globex open until market close. 22 with Top Step, and probably half of them you can just chuck out the window because numbers. But really, like A plus high quality setups, there's probably maybe like 3 or 4 on the higher time frames. So there's no reason I should be taking like 20 trades. I think attempting the same, like the same setup, and maybe I stop out once, I stop out twice, the third time I get the move, that's still, in my mind, one trade, right? It's one setup that I was trying to get. So, the numbers can look a little skewed on Top Step reporting. It'll show, I've posted stats and people were like, "Oh my god, you took 40 trades." I'm like, "Dude, I scaled into 15 micros 3 times." That's the numbers just look weird. Alrighty, here we go. Here's the hourly flip. 60 trigger right here. And buyer said no. I was going to enter a little starter if the 60 triggered, hoping that we get the 4 hour too, which is not too far away. But doesn't appear to be going in that direction. Probably give it 5 or 10 minutes here, just see how this flip unfolds, and then hop off and do something else for a bit. Try and distract myself. The last 2 nights I've sat here way too long. Like for me, there is a market on easy mode that happens, and it's very obvious. It's trending in one direction, little pullbacks that you can either long or short, right? If it's dumping, you just short the pops. If it's running higher, you just buy the dips basically. Those are the times where in the past I've just gone through cycled, not copy traded, but just gone through 3 or 4 combines and put 1500 in them, like what, like not even thinking about it, just boom, hit 1500 onto the next one, buy the next dip, boom, hit 1500 onto the next one. I think like real trend days are only 30%, something like that, of all market days. So they're just not going to show up every day, and I got to I got to adjust my style a little bit when that's not happening. Either get better at trading ranges or just being more patient. It's not a race. I mean, I try and make it a race, like like there's some finish line that I got to get to. But the truth is, I could take, if I took 2 or 3 really solid trades a month that were, winners. I don't need to catch every move. I just need to catch, the best setups for that month, and that's it. Move on. Womp womp womp. Went outside 15, outside 5, outside 15, and now we are just stuck inside 30, inside 60. So inside 30, inside 60. I think this is the 4 hour low. Where's the, let's see. Yeah, let me label this. Happened to the days of like, I think I got spoiled there a couple months ago. Asia volatility was crazy. I remember a few days there where it dumped like six, seven, 800 points. Had a couple rippers where the market just launched, I think, on something Japan was doing. You basically could just close your eyes, click buy, and, max out accounts. Definitely been trickier this time of day, the overnight Globex Asia. I know there are a lot of people who don't trade Asia. You just have to be more patient, in my opinion. I mean, I don't, look, if the market's moving, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, right? Or what session. Sometimes New York sucks. It's just stuck sideways. I mean, it might get more volatility and things happen quicker, but, if you get in a long or a short on a good setup and just hold it, so you have to sit with it for maybe an hour or two. I don't mind doing that, which is ironic because I'm not a patient person, but I've really learned to be. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. I'm just gonna set some alerts on this. This is what I care about most: this 4 hour inside bar and the 60. We got inside bar, so we're tightening up, and we will see if this previous inside bar breaks. If we stay stuck inside, then I'll be even more interested. If we end up with double inside bars and then we, you know, break one of them, I'll be looking to trade the break or the potential outside bar. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to hop off. Just figured I would do another stream, try and get back into the swing of things here. I was feeling pretty depressed and just miserable because I've been frustrated with myself. But this is good therapy for me to talk this shit out, share what I'm going through, and chat with you guys. So appreciate everybody stopping by. I'm gonna see what happens here on the 60 and 4 hour, and that is about it for me. See you guys later.